anywhere, you have to know where you are. And you have to know why you're going. Going for the sake of going. Doing for the sake of doing is the most foolish way of living. And that is how most people live. We want to go somewhere, and we want to go very fast. But if someone were to stop us and ask, where are you going? We have no answer. We have no sense of where we are going, why we are going, and what are we going to do once we get there. We live our entire lives thinking that there is something out there for us to experience. There is somewhere we need to go, without realizing that this process has already happened many times. We've had a desire, we have chased that desire, and that desire has even come true. Now, what did we do there? We have hardly experienced the pleasure of the desire accomplishing before we are swept into the flood of another desire, another thought process. All our accomplishments, all our chasing of the past is nothing but a faint, far distant memory. And yet, we continue to chase after the same things. When our own life is a glowing example of our futility in running, our futility in searching. Stupidity is not doing stupid things. Stupidity is doing stupid things, knowing fully well that we are doing stupid things. With full awareness of our stupidity, we are being stupid. We can see this running around, this chasing has no purpose, has no meaning. Not one individual in the entirety of the human race has attained to inner peace, joy, contentment by running after things. It is not that there is some problem in our desiring. We know how to desire. We know how to desire big things. We know how to run after them. The problem is not in our desiring. The problem is in the very process of desiring. It is not what you're desiring, how you're desiring. Nobody tells you that there is a fundamental problem in thinking that fulfillment of a desire leads to fulfillment in life. Nobody has told you that fulfillment of a desire is for the mind, is for that tiny part of you, that noisy part of you, that fearful part of you, that small child screaming for attention, screaming for help. Even your greatest of desires, when it is accomplished, it's that baby inside you who gets pacified for a while, feeling that I have done something, I am important. But your real you, which is far away, a million miles away from your mind, knows nothing about this desiring process, has no use for this desiring process. It is baffled. When you finally get to it, when that moment comes, when you become self-aware, in a day, maybe 2 or 3 times, you get to that place where you are in a self introspection mode, not at the surface level on the mind, but somewhere deeper. Who am I? What is the purpose of life? What will happen to me after I die? I know my life is special, but what am I doing with this special life? The voice of reason speaks, but the mind drowns it. It is so busy. It does not wait to listen to that voice fully. It does not have patience. It discards it and starts running. Again, once in a while, we come back. We keep coming back, only to again move away, without realizing the purpose of movement, without knowing where you're going, why you're going. Your going is useless. All your religious worshipping and praying and asking for things is of no use. For many people, the highest thing that is there, that one can aspire to connect to, is their religions. To be accepted by their religion is to have done something right. So they live their entire lives trying to satisfy certain arbitrary ideas, rules set by their religions. Now, what are you doing in trying to satisfy certain religious rules and guidelines? You are simply performing an action, nothing more. And you don't even know why you're performing that action. You're doing it because someone is telling you to do it. You have no deep understanding of what is right, what is wrong, what is the way to liberation. How is it that another individual who took birth just like you, who grew up just like you, can be the answer for your questions? None of these thought processes are going on in the mind. There is just a desire to belong. There is just a desire to fit in. You are committing suicide because you are simply following guidelines for the sake of guidelines without knowing where you're going. Without conscious choices, conscious decision making, you are moving towards your death. And you can be sure that you would have wasted a perfectly beautiful, useful life. You have an intelligent mind, an intelligent body, because you are searching for your highest self. They are there to help you to get to your highest self. Now, instead of using your mind, using your body to help yourself, you are dedicating it to the service of some idiotic ideas that you know nothing about. You are believing in them because many people believe in them. You have accepted them because they are old. They have come from thousands of years ago. Well, a lot of things can come from thousands of years ago. Stupidity also can come from thousands of years ago. The most rigid dogmatic beliefs that satisfy some of the basest, lowest of our human tendencies can also come from the past. The reason why they have survived is because they appeal to that part of us that is lazy, that wants to find a shortcut, that wants a quick release from the pain and suffering, that does not want to put in the effort to understand life, to understand death, go and find a teacher, dedicate to a certain spiritual process. If you are not willing to do all these things, then simply believing in something is the alternative. And that is why beliefs have always appealed to people. Because very few are willing to put the effort. Most people want liberation to be given to them for free, ready-made. And religions have understood this game. Give man what he wants and promise something that he can prove or disprove only after he is dead. These two things are enough. You give him exactly what he wants. What does he want? Freedom, give it to him. Sitting on the right side of God, give it to him. Heaven, all the beautiful, wonderful things to experience in heaven, give it to him. But just give it to him after his death. Because we know once he dies, he's dead. He cannot come back and ask for these things. It's a very old trick. It is such a primitive, such a low-level trick to scare people or to entice them with something that they cannot see, something they cannot experience. And we have fallen into this trap. The moment you think that belief is enough, nothing more is needed, you don't make use of your mind and body. You don't make use of the intelligence, the aliveness, the awareness that you have to ask the most important questions.